Okay, this is just a quick video of my latest build that I put together here. I'm just going to do a quick walk around and show you what it's all about. Okay, so what this beast is, this is my 540 snowmobile powered off-road buggy. I don't know if you'd call it a full-out cross cart. It doesn't have rear independent suspension. When I first started this, I didn't even know what I was going to use for an engine on this thing, and I ended up using an old snowmobile motor that I had. Well, I started off with a blown up motor, then I acquired another one. But anyways, it's a 540 Yamaha fan-cooled motor. Like, that's the heart and soul of the beast. This motor came out of a 1982 Yamaha SRV snowmobile. CVT, clutch setup off snowmobile. This is the Yamaha primary. I did run a Polaris secondary just because it's I have no way to cut splines, so that just uses a 1-inch keyed shaft, which is a lot easier to work with. So it's got like my homemade setup jack shaft in here. Tried to keep it as simple as I could. Had to just slightly modify the exhaust to get it around the chain and stuff like that. And I also shortened a little bit too, so give me a little more clearance between the exhaust and the seat. The tank and the fuel tank were put on here temporary just so I could drive this thing. This thing's still not even complete yet. I just put it together so I could do some testing on it. I hate this, but it was just done temporary. This is actually what I'm working on right now. This is the fuel tank that I'm building for it. This side's fuel, this side's oil. So when I put it on the back there, I think I should clean it up, make it look pretty cool. Floor pan is an old road sign that was given to me. It doesn't, like they say, have rear independent suspension. It has like a single oscillating axle. Got double A-arm front suspension on this. I am just running cheap Amazon shocks. Surprisingly enough, they do work a lot better than I thought they would. And it's like some of the reviews that people give it, they do work pretty well. My knuckles are all homemade. The hubs were basically homemade just from things that I could find. I tried something different with the steering. I'm sure it's been, well, I know it's after I started this, I seen it done, but when I first started this, I'd never seen it done before, but kind of works as a bit of a homemade steering box kind of thingy. These are my homemade pedals. Just a cheap go-kart master cylinder. When I started bending up the tubing for this, I was using this thing. Come from Princess Auto, similar to like a Harbor Freight bender. It's very frustrating to try to get nice smooth bends with one of those, so I ended up breaking down and I bought this guy from Amazon, which is like a Chinese version. I'd never even heard of the name before, but it was just, the price was right. It's similar to like a JD squared. It works good for extension cord rack when you're not using it. It's kind of handy. This is my little mini spinny, cheap little Chinese mini lathe, which is, I spend many hours cursing and swearing and being frustrated with it, but it still gets me to be able to make certain things it still helps me to build things, that's for darn sure. My little Hobart Welder, one of my prized possessions, one of the very first things I bought when I built a garage many years ago. And this is just a cheap Princess Auto bandsaw, which is also similar to Harbor Freight. And again, instead of always just cutting stuff out with a grinder, it makes things a lot quicker and cleaner, and it's handy to have as well. And yeah, like I say, it's a pretty simple machine, but it sure is a blast to drive. It's a lot of fun, and everybody should have one. I'd like to give a special thanks to the Grindheart crew for motivating me to get off my butt, get in the garage, and go and build this thing. Thanks, guys.